What's up, folks? We're back at it again with more racing action here on the Global Speedrun Association channel. This time, a 120-star race between Para and Super Viper. Should be a pretty hot one. Viper with a pretty interesting Mario setup, hat in hand type glitch looks like. Some type of bomb shenanigans going on in BOB. Meanwhile, Para just sitting pretty on the title screen, ready to go. Should have this race going in just a jiffy for y'all. You had two awesome semifinal races. Both 2-0, but super strong performances from all the runners involved in both cases. But now we're going to chillax a little bit with a much longer category, much more intensive, but no less entertaining to watch, that's for sure. I'm Electric, and I'm super happy to be joining off for this race. It should be a pretty tight one. Para, a 120-star, longtime veteran, shooting for that 139 for a long time now. Got the skills for it, just got to keep on the grind. Meanwhile, Super Viper, also no stranger to the category, so this should be a pretty entertaining race from both these guys. I think we're going to be seeing the typical LBLJ route. Let's see when they decide to throw CCM in there. Might be a little bit different from standard PB attempts. We'll have to see. Sleepy Dan asking how many glitches at the same time that was. Not exactly sure, to be honest with you.
Mario.
We're going to get the quick resync on the title screen here, of all places. Super Viper clarifying, hands-free bloated bomb plus hat in hand plus shell clone. 3 glitches combined all together. Let's see it happen. Both players, of course. Wait, looks like Viper actually on the English version. I was going to say both on the JP, but Viper's intro a little bit longer. Not quite sure why Viper's opting for English. The time loss is much more substantial in 120, since you have to actually break a box for the Cannon Star and JRB, and also the iRock text boxes. Much more profound. 10 boxes as opposed to, I think, 2 or 3 on JP. Both heading through Lakitu skip. Viper misses Lakitu skip despite using the setup with the dead-on angling. Para, though, no issues, as he goes right into LBLJ here. But clips through the pillar. This is going to be a pretty interesting start. Viper, meanwhile, going to go right into BOB for bomb clip. Already a big route difference between these two. Para stays in the pillar this time around. Gets through the door just fine. And he's in Dark World. So kind of losing his potential time save for LBLJ, but still going to be in a decent lead. Gets burned on the first switch. So going to have to take kind of a awkward backup here. Should be on pace for Shig still, though, as Viper gets a very nice bomb clip to start out this race. Para just very awkward movement. Oh, gets bopped by the elevator here. Shig definitely dead. No wall kick here. Just very, very awkward start for Para for some reason. I mean, he's done Dark World plenty of times. I think maybe just the hand's a bit cold or something's going on with him. Not exactly sure, but we'll surely see him get back into the groove momentarily here. Getting through the end of the stage. No death, at least. So avoiding the most major time loss. As Viper working his way into Womps. Pretty standard 70 type stuff coming out first, though. Ends up taking a little bit of dust there. Let's see how this Alice attempt goes. Looks good, and he's in the cage. Nice. Para moving into the Bowser fight. Let's see what Viper goes for next here. Probably cannonless, though we might see some 100 coin coming out from him. Nope, cannonless. Gonna save the 100 coin for his 3rd star here. Let's see what setup he goes for. Full setup, no texture shenanigans today. And it's good to go. Nice. And Para's going to be joining Viper and Womps in just a moment. If he can exit course. Had to take an extra little pause there. Viper getting started on 100 coin, going for the standard full cycle movement, no pro today. Pretty understandable. You have a decent bit of leniency on this form of full cycle. And so still making the cycle very handily. Just ground pound instead of a long jump. That's going to cost him some pretty big time. Able to back it up very nicely, but that's going to be a decent opening for Para, who wasted on a Owless fail. I guess we now see why he went for Owl full in that one race for the 70 league. Again, another Owless fail. Are we going to see a repeat of Punkay's triple fall here? We might, but no. Para managing to clutch out Owless just with 2 quick fails. We need to gauge out how exactly that cage worked real quick. As Viper finishes up his 100 coin, relatively smooth, just that little bit of an issue with a long jump. Ground pounds instead of long jumps are surprisingly common. It's very easy when you're playing optimally and trying to get the fastest long jump possible to have a mistake. Para, though, no mistakes on texture setup, canonless. Now let's see, Viper going in on Wild Blue. Para going in on 100 coin. Probably going to be shooting for Pro Cycle, yep. Let's see how it goes. Already with the cycle going to be saving some time over Viper should he land it. And going to be saving even more if he's able to get that long jump properly, which is pretty likely. Oh, but misses the wall kick there. That's pretty much definitely, I mean, missing the wall kick definitely cost him the full cycle, but it's going to be a little bit tight on half now. Yeah, the platform already moving back, so he's just going to have to take the late cycle here. 100 coin throwing both these players for a loop. And Para getting that little bit of a grind there, costing him even more time, about a second or so. But able to abort the grind pretty early. So moving right on along through the ending of the star here. As Viper finishes off Chip. Heading back in for top of the fortress, and then he'll be moving on along to the next stage. Well, to the slides first off. Viper finishing off top of the fortress pretty decently, cleaning up some of his mistakes on movement throughout the rest of the stage. Para now with Wild Blue. Should be a pretty clean one. Done the star plenty of times. No single jump action here. Viper heading on into JRB. JRB, a pretty formidable stage. At least you get the nice calm before the storm with Aquarium, but I mean, for a stage that involves a lot of swimming and is overall a pretty slow stage, not very many fast stars, all the stars are somewhat technical in their own right. The 100 coin in particular can be a big challenge for those that may not be super experienced with the swimming here. Viper finishing up Aquarium, getting ready to head on into the water park, I guess. I was going to say water shenanigans, then I realized I've said shenanigans a pretty decent number of times. Commentator struggling to vary his vocabulary, obviously washed up. Para, however, not washed up at all. Nice fence clip movement. Beautiful top of the fortress. And let's see the ship clip from Viper. No ship clip, gonna be just pulling the eel right out. As you can see, the way the eel is programmed is kind of weird. Like, whenever I was playing this game casually, I always thought, oh, I just need to, like, drag the eel out, like, swim a little bit in front of him, then he'll follow me, and then I'll be able to go right in. But no, you just swim in front of the eel, then swim kind of far away, and then he'll come out. It's a little bit finicky, but Viper making it work. pretty clean on the eel get, but Para, of course, is going to be going for that ship clip, saving some decent time. Nice movement throughout the ship, though. From 3 comms to 1, I will try to bring the energy of both Madronas and Simply, but I don't think it'll be very possible. Didn't even ship clip as a small child. I know, I mean, the game drags you to it, makes you think that, oh, the ship clipping is the only intended strat, but nope, not quite. Now Viper gonna be heading on into the cave. Nice little clip there. Now Para with the ship clip. Pretty quick, no insta clip, but this clip will still do just fine. Now Viper heading on in for Jetstream Star, looks like. Metal cap, not required, ever. Just some nice quick swimming, and you're good to go. Para now joining the fun in JRB. Let's see what he decides to go for after the ship is done. Looks like he's going to be moving on through with the Hori frame walk here. And it's good to go. Barely diving on top of the platform, but managing to clutch it out just fine. As Viper goes on in for 100 coin. Like I said earlier, this really puts your swimming to the test with how the coin hitboxes tend to work. You have to be very, very proficient at swimming, know how exactly every swim and every turn is going to move Mario in order to collect all the coins on your first pass. J-Mill saying he doesn't think that that's a Hori frame walk. To be honest, I'm not sure how to really tell the difference between the digital and analog frame walk, but with how... I don't want to say slow, because it didn't really look super slow. It didn't quite look like he was doing the digital frame walk. But I could certainly be wrong. I am no frame walk expert. I know Para in the previous showcase race, or maybe the one before that, I'm not sure if there was one in between, but in one of the previous showcase races, he showed that he used a Hori on that frame walk, so. SuperViper having a little bit of an issue with the clam. Able to move right on along right after. Talking to the Bum-Bum, so he's going to be going for the cannon shot instead. Pretty safe. Especially if you take a little bit of time to set it up instead of doing the instant shot. So both players getting on over to the ship. Para with a mild lead. Got to remember. Oh, missed the first red there. Ship cycle will be a little bit weird, but should still be perfectly good to go. Yeah, no real issue here. Para claiming he used his teeth on OEM stick. The strat progression here is nothing short of amazing. I mean, doing frame walk at all on OEM stick is one thing, but using your teeth on OEM stick, I mean, that's big brain plays. That's 300 IQ time. SuperViper setting up the shot real quick. Goes ahead and goes for the pole, not going for that shot right over to the platform. Dental wall. I wish. JRB nearly done for both players. Viper just needs to grab this eel real quick. And Para a couple more stars. And then they'll be well on their way through the rest of the lobby here. Viper reducing some legs. Leg reduction is vitally important throughout JRB. It's certainly the stage where you'll notice the leg the most whenever you're playing as a casual player. Nearly swims past the star, but does manage to grab it just fine, not having to turn back around for it.
Here we go!
Yes, the leg reduction. You've heard about leg extension surgery, a very long and painful procedure, but leg reduction, not super painful. Sometimes you gotta manipulate your hand in kind of a weird way, but leg reduction overall, a very standard, very simple procedure. In and out, no, not even general anesthesia required. I mean, of course the sub is super leggy, but I should say JRB is probably the first place you'd notice it. Why is Para behind by so much? It's really fake time loss since he went for LBLJ instead of bomb clip. So Viper has a stage in BOB that he doesn't have, but Para's already been all the way through Dark Hole, which is much more significant, much longer. Viper heading on into wing cap. Taking the arcs a little bit safe here, going right through those coins, not trying to grab them with the edge of Mario's hitbox. Meanwhile, Para heading into the slide. I'm thinking a 12-5 from Para. Missed the guess on SuperViper, but Viper with a quick double jump tech skip there. Very clean. Not quite as fast as the rollout I'm sure Para's going to go for, but safe and still fast enough. A second slide from SuperViper. A bonk from Para that's going to make his time a lot distended. 14.1. Viper, though, 12-7 coming out for sure. No bonk from him. Very clean slide. 12-9. Let's see Para's flying here. He's definitely going to take these arcs a lot less conservatively. You can see using the very edge of Mario's hitbox on 3 and 4. Playing a little bit safer with the last 4 coins, but still working out just fine. And let's see it, the rollout tech skip, and it's good. Unlike that second race in the 7-day league, was able to get the rollout successfully. Nothing weird about his trajectory towards the button or the button presses themselves. And so now you can see SuperViper has to head on in to Dark World. But Para after this slide is going to be moving his way onto the BOB. And after bomb clip is done, you'll be able to immediately see the time save on Para's side. But Viper having a much cleaner Dark World than Para had, definitely still on pace for a nice shig. Very clean Dark Hole from SuperViper. Now let's see what damage Para can do in BOB. BOB can be a bit finicky, especially BOB 100. If it goes well, he's going to definitely solidify this lead and give Viper a lot to fight for through the rest of this race. But should he have some mistakes, and especially if he makes some critical errors on 100 coin, this could definitely provide Viper with a pretty decent opening to start out this race. But a very nice bomb clip. And so now the routes have basically converged. Para advancing right into BOB again. Viper has to take a little bit of castle movement, and of course this Bowser cutscene. Para gets that fade out at 17:56. Probably going to be, if I had to guess, like 40 seconds or so ahead. Now we're going to be seeing the King Bomb fight here. Here with a nice quick grab right on the side of the bomb bomb, it looked like. So Viper's going to be heading up to King as well. I didn't actually see when Viper entered the stage, but probably about like 30, 40 seconds behind. This Para almost picks up the King Bomb on star, but has to move a little bit after that first mistaken ground pound. Yeah, I mean, some of that time loss came from JRB, of course, SuperViper opening the cannon and such, but Para really just had a much nicer womps than SuperViper had, especially with 100 coin. Para definitely feeling himself a lot more now. Not making as many just kind of odd mistakes as he made at the beginning of this run. As he moves on through Koopa the Quick, cheating a little bit on this race, taking a warp. Surely Koopa the Quick does not expect that. Although, if he's not expecting Mario to do something like that, he must not be very quick mentally. This Viper starts his own race. Let's see what final time he's going to get here. If he's able to snag a mid-18, just like Para. Or if he's going to be a few seconds behind. Probably the latter. Looking probably at like a mid-19. Oh, an 18.9. Taking a bit of an alternate route here. Going right for the cannon. Not bothering with the wing cap just yet. So Para's routing here is probably going to result in Koopa going a little bit faster towards the top of the mountain. The farther you are from Koopa the Quick, the faster he's going to move after you finish the race.
Here we go!
Stop abusing Koopa. Look, I feel like he kind of deserves it for being so braggadocious, like calling himself Koopa the Quick, but he's not very fast. I mean, that's straight up false advertising. Para, I don't think Para was able to fully take advantage of that slide at the start of Sky Jump here, but no matter. Still getting a very nice Sky Jump time here. As he moves on into Secrets. Very nice flying for Secrets. He's fast for a Koopa. Oh, okay. You are correct there. Viper getting a bit trolled by the coin RNG there. Wanted 3, hopefully 2, but ended up having to settle for just 1 coin. As he's going to bully this other Koopa. Look, see, Viper's bullying Koopas way more than I did. Pretty decent shell movement so far. Had a bit of an awkward start, but seems to be playing around a lot better with the shell than before. Triple jumping back into the sky. Gonna be collecting some coins from these rings real quick. And so now re-entering the cannon, some more coins from the rings, and then he'll be headed back on over to the ending of the stage here. Pretty low on his coin count, but should still be good to go. Ended up not being able to get the turnaround like he wanted, so gonna lose a couple seconds there as well. As Para works his way into 100 coin himself. His 100 coin, as we can expect, gonna be a lot better. Just smoother throughout, even on little details that only save like a second or so. Viper, again, not able to take full advantage of these coins. Box. Getting a little bit tripped up, trying to run around the poles here. It can be a little difficult to have Mario run in a tight circle. If you get your stick movement a little bit too eager, you could end up doing what Viper did there and start to activate a side flip. Here, though, creeping up on 100 coin. Of course, a little bit of a different star order from SuperViper, but nonetheless, even though, like, on this current star, it looks like Para's behind, he has saved a lot of time over Viper's attempt here. Getting all 3 coins from that box. not going to have to deal with all the poles at the end here. He's going to be able to skip a couple of them, I believe. Or just one, rather. Viper with his real sky jump attempt.
Here we go.
Taking some time to adjust this cannon shot. Not quite confident in where exactly the reticule's facing, but able to line it up in a way he's proud of. Able to deal pretty nicely. Yeah, it was both execution and RNG. I mean, like, Viper definitely got trolled by that first box and by the ending box, but Para's execution throughout was definitely cleaner, saving him a few seconds. As Para moves on into CCM for CCM 33. A little bit different from many of the routes that he attempts, but Viper having an issue getting this wing cap, but manages to make it work on this attempt.
Here we go.
Nice wall kicks from Para. Now, gonna go ahead and move on through reds. If he can get the side flip to come out, finally able to land it. Nice slide down to the fourth red. Very nice movement throughout reds. Viper, of course, repping the basic strat for wall kicks will work. Not sure why he's not a fan of the more advanced strat, going for that backflip wall kick, especially with the safe setup with the low wall kick, but I mean, the basic setup he uses works for him, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Definitely understandable. And with me in the booth now is Scotch and Ty Guy. How are you doing tonight, man? Okay, it looks like he joined the booth, but a little bit mute at the moment. We'll be getting back to him in just a moment. As Viper goes on in for his own reds. A little bit low on that slide, but still making it work. Nice slide kick movement there to preserve that momentum. Yeah, commentator getting ignored in his own booth. There's no greater shame. Para messing around with the penguin now. Had some issues with it in his 70 race, but totally cleared up now. Not having to do any warp shenanigans from dropping the penguin on the slope.
Here we go.
Viper with his own penguin. That could have turned bad with him sliding off the mountain at the angle he did, but he was able to readjust, kind of kill his momentum so that he landed earlier on the slope, so he didn't take fall damage. Nicely high there. This Para moves on in for his 100 coin now.
Hello, hello.
Hello! We do
apologize
have
for
a
that.
COCOM. He's not ignoring me.
I apologize for that. I had a little mix up with my mic boom, but looks like we've got some 120 action here. Para working on that 100, and Super Viper taking a nice little dive.
Yeah, Para's forged a nice little lead for himself throughout the start of this match, but has shown a little bit of uneasiness at some points. The start of the race, it just seemed like he wasn't quite warmed up. Darkhold was a little bit sloppy, but he's definitely come into his own and started playing at about the level that we were pretty well used to from him.
It's been interesting to see with Para, you know, coming into this race. I was thinking a little bit about Para in particular. He's such a big advocate of 120 in particular. You know, he's been working really hard on certain star-to-star strats. I see him tweet about it every now and again, showing off what he's been working on. So this is really neat to see just kind of that accumulation of effort that he's put into this.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely his category. Like, a lot of runners tend to have that category that they're just naturally like, this is mine. Like, you see that with Cheese with 120. Like, 120 is absolutely his preference. He's put a ton of time into it, especially compared to his other categories, and the work has paid off. Same with D Whatever with 70. You know, D Whatever's a huge 70 guy. Not quite as into 120, but every runner seems to kind of have the category that their skill set is the most suited for. And for Para, he's definitely a 120 guy.
SuperViper getting bullied a little bit there by the Penguin, and he's getting a little close there at the end. Has 85 coins. Just enough for that start at the end. Para going to be helping out the Snowman real quick.
Maybe doing some breakdancing moves. That's kind of insulting to the Snowman, I feel like. Like, the Snowman has no body. How is he supposed to truly appreciate those breakdancing moves?
Here we go!
Blaze coming out with the pun of the year. Apparently, he's pretty good at this category.
The puns are coming out, man.
It's like a disease. It's just gonna spread.
Para heading downstairs now. I like that SuperViper. You know, as much as Para, you know, this, like you said, this is Para's category. SuperViper, not too far behind at all, especially in the context of 120. Using this roundabout method, not standard.
I'm not sure what the reasoning behind this is. I mean, maybe it's just giving him something to do while he waits for the body to roll down there. Could also be a little bit of lag reduction. If you're not careful with your camera waiting for the Snowman, you can get a bit of lag when it comes down the hill.
Maybe a little bit of swag, who knows? But Para with the very, very nice first try on the Pless. Good to see. SuperViper going downstairs as well.
Oh, Para going for the punch again, but didn't have anywhere near as much momentum as he did in those last couple of attempts at it. As Badronis was saying in those 70 races, that punch is frame perfect to maintain your speed.
Here we go!
Yeah, able to get that one done though. Now SuperViper, he's going to need to match Para's Pless attempt to stay within kind of shooting distance of him for the rest of this race. Para taking care of Reds now. SuperViper using that standard method for Pless. Nice camera angle.
It looked like Para had a bit of an awkward angle getting up to the pyramid, but made it work. Got the rebound off the pyramid. Going now for his flying. As the recent Simp video has stated, this is probably the hardest individual star in the run, especially with the route that these players go for.
Well,
using that momentum from the slide.
Yeah, it's this section right here that's so tricky, and he gets the triple jump perfectly.
I mean, that's days of practice. Not even just hours, but literal days spent on one star, one tiny section of movement. That's always impressive to see pulled off. Viper will likely be going through the maze, but we could maybe see the sliding action from him as well. But he might be a little bit less practiced at it. Probably going to be saving that one for a bit later, though. Nope, going right on for it.
We're going to take on these hands now. Ground pound there, not exactly what he was looking for, but not too big of a deal.
Viper using a much older route for this star, not going for that rebound off the edge of the stage. Instead, just going to go right to flight as soon as he gets the wing cap.
Yeah, keeping it comfy.
Nice double jump.
Safe pillar.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not super confident in Reds, this is definitely the way to play.
Well, and it's like you said before, that new movement, or that tougher movement, excuse me, it's something you got to practice over and over and over again. Para, I was watching him, you know, practice that movement in particular about a month ago, just grinding it out. using save state after save state to make sure that he was exactly where he wanted to be throughout each part of that kind of cycle. So if you're not super practiced in that start, and it's the simp thing, it's totally true. If you're not practicing it, it's so difficult.
Pokey kind of trolling Para there, not giving him the blue coin with the first ground pound. Oh, Viper missing topless here. Gonna have to go for this backup here with the triple. Gets it first try though, very clean backup. And now we're gonna see a huge time hit for Viper playing on English. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 text boxes, because for some reason, during the translation, the developers decided every line from the IROC should be its own text box instead of just having like 2 text boxes with all those lines.
Definitely need to start a GoFundMe for SuperViper's Japanese version.
What's kind of interesting is JP does tend to be cheaper than English. I think it's normally like $10 to $15 compared to English being around 20 to 25. Might just be Viper still using his childhood card. I mean, if there's really going to be a GoFundMe, it needs to be for Para to get an English card. Or really for English cards for all the 70 league runners that don't have them. Viper kicking the bomb right into the fly guy there. Not sure if that's just his common setup or if he just didn't quite get the fly guy manipulation the way he wanted it.
Here we go!
Yeah, SuperViper definitely having a tougher time here in SSL than Para.
Here we go!
Again, definitely practiced in this one. Nice rollout there on the pillar.
Yeah, pillar movement can be pretty tricky. You definitely need to put the time in to learn exactly how Mario will behave through any movement option when you try to dive on the pillar, when you're trying to do some type of jump off of the pillar, like any sort of movement you might do off of a pillar, you definitely want to practice. So a pretty decent 100 coin start from Viper. Let's see how he goes inside the pyramid though. Has to wait for this fly guy to come around for some extra coinage, but makes it work. As Para goes into HMC 100, I think the argument can definitely be made that HMC 100 and DDD 100 are the hardest stars in 120.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right. I mean, there's a reason why runners have splits.
Nice backup from Viper. I'm sorry
really
to interrupt.
nice, yeah.
When you missed that secret, it is so hard to back that up cleanly. Like that ledge looks decently sized, but the hitbox on it is very tiny. It's very easy to walk off into the sand where you can't get any kind of jump. Viper just kind of noodling around throughout all these secrets, but does manage to pick up his footing for a pretty decent ending at least.
Yeah, definitely a good backup there. Just good awareness. He definitely knows the mechanics. So, the rollout on the pillar and that backup, just really good knowledge. But with the HMC and DDD thing, there's a reason why 100 coins for HMC and DDD, they runners have specific splits for those, is because of the level of difficulty, the amount of movement that's involved, and just the amount of time that it takes. I mean, look at this BLJ right there. That's so precise. Let me rephrase that. It's not super precise, but it's definitely very difficult to get that with one shot the way that Para did there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the main difficulty with integrating that BLJ comes down to you're having to make that jump as the platform is moving up, get your long jump in order. If you end up jumping too early and trying to set up your BLJ too early, you'll just BLJ right off the elevator. Try to do it too late and you won't build up enough speed. I mean, I would say the Toxic Maze BLJ is probably more difficult, technically, but when you have something like that in the middle of a 100 coin star, it definitely ramps up the pressure and inherently the difficulty.
Well, and this will tell you just how long it takes to get HMC 100 done. And the time that Para has taken to get HMC 100 done and Reds Super Viper has gotten out those 3 stars out of SSL and started his own 100 and reds.
Yeah. Let's see how Viper's 100 goes. Had kind of a shaky start. This pit is also a huge source of difficulty. Now it looks like he's going to be riding the elevator for that extra bit of safety instead of trying to do that long jump all the way through this section with the sliding wall kick. So yeah, going to be wasting a little bit of time compared to Para, but much safer. If you're trying to get into 120, definitely take note of this route Viper's doing. It's going to save you a lot of heartache. Getting kind of bullied by a Scuttlebug, though. The Scuttlebug kind of sick of being raised for Mario's benefit.
And in the meantime, Para with the BLJ.
That Toxic Maze BLJ never gets old.
Oh my gosh, it's such it just what's amazing. It's not even like amazing in the sense that it's a BLJ. You know, it's pretty standard. We've seen it all the BLJs. You know, and if you watch the TAS video, even it's just crazy where all the BLJs are at. But that one in particular, the amount, like the direction that you go and the amount of speed that you need it's kind of insane.
And if your angle's not right on the elevator, it's very Viper trying to jump too early, so he's gonna have to wait for the elevator to return for his next attempt at this BLJ. But with the Toxic Maze BLJ, if your angle is slightly off on the elevator itself, you'll end up BLJing yourself off the elevator before you actually get on top of the platform. So Viper seems to have better luck here. Yeah, there he goes. So if you've got yourself up to, I think it's like 85 to 90 speed, by the time you hit that wall, every long jump will still accelerate you. It's just a matter of how many long jumps you need to clip through the wall again. But it can sometimes be kind of hard to tell if you're on that brink where you don't quite have enough speed, or if you have actually enough speed to clip through after a few jumps.
Para getting Metal Cap Blinkless.
As is tradition.
And Super Viper going to be finishing it.
He's the eye to look at.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's almost RNG how you get that eye to aggro on you. Sometimes it just doesn't want to cooperate.
Viper's blue coin also ending up on the ground for a pretty clean ending to his 100 coin, but Para just blazing through this stage. No real error at all. And we're to the pretty basic 70s stuff now. Nice rolling rock from Para. Yeah, Para's basements are something else. Para and Liam Kings both have just gotten some really insane basement times with some decent regularity.
Well, especially with 120, you know, it's midway through the run. You know, and I think that you could say this about 70 Star too. Super Viper working on his BLJ here. Can he get it done?
Nice. Toxic Maze BLJ doesn't save a ton of time, but way, way harder than the standard strat, but also much, much more impressive when you pull it off. So whenever we have showcase races like this, what we mean by that is it's not part of a league. So like the winner of this race doesn't get points that would carry over to like finals or anything like that. This is just like for fun, like almost like doing a race on Speedruns Live. It's just these guys are deciding to race, and we're just restreaming it for y'all with commentary. That's pretty much all there is to it. It's the same as like a showcase run, where it's just a runner showing off a run. In this case, it's them showing off 120 as a race category. Since a 120 league would be a ton of effort from all the runners involved, and a lot of runners in the community also are of the opinion that 120 isn't the best racing category. It's easy to lose a ton of time towards the start and not really be able to make that up. But it's still a very fun race to watch nonetheless. And when you remove all the pressure of, I need to perform well for points and standings and all this other stuff, it's just really entertaining to see. Yes. Oh, wait, no, sorry, Merle. I misread that. I thought you were saying that Para still needs the Bowser fight at the end. Every category ends with the Bowser fight, except for, I think, like one of the meme categories. But yeah, Para went through the first Bowser fight. He actually did that as his very first star through LBLJ. So Para working his way through LLL. I think it's really interesting how LLL is mostly similar to 70, except the hardest strat gets removed and the star itself is paired with 100 coin. Which the 100 coin here is really interesting. It's probably the longest showcase of shell movement that you're going to see in the entire run. And like you really go all over this stage to a bunch of platforms that you never really venture to during any other star.
Well, and the bigger part about that is, you know, with the shell, there's so many areas, even if you do this casually, there's so many areas where if you take a bonk, it's almost certainly going to be a death, especially with how far out some of these coins are into the lava. You got to be super careful about what angles you take. Triple bully kill on Para's side, really nice to see. But yeah, it's fun to watch. The 100 here in LLL. Super Viper taking care of Christmas Miracle now.
I'm going to go ahead and take that fall damage without the dive or anything like that.
Wow, Para just, I mean, down this basement has been really nice. Getting the long jump without the ledge grab, the insta-ground pound on the big bully.
I'm really curious what his uptime is going to end up being. Because this is not a bad run. I don't really think it's on PB pace, but this is pretty decent for just a one-off run.
Well, this basement in particular, I'd like to know the splits, just because, you know, it's pretty much. Oh, well, as I say that, there. Yeah, small mistake there. Only one so far. Pretty much perfect SSL. Really nice BLJs in HMC.
So now we see Para going on in for 100 coin. Let's see it happen. It's really interesting too, just how many stars don't integrate 100 with, or how many stages don't integrate 100 coin with reds. Because I mean, reds are a free 16 coins, but many stages you only get like 7 of the reds, or in the case of CCM, just like 4 or 5 or so. And just because another star happens to be faster, that 16 coin gain isn't quite fast enough to justify it.
Well, TTC is a perfect example of that. You know, you make your way up and you're able to grab what, 5 or 6 red coins on your way up, but it doesn't make any sense to do reds at that point. Weird bonk there from Para, kind of an invisible, it looked like almost. But you're making your way up in TTC, and it just makes sense to grab those that many red coins on your way up, because they're there free for the taking.
Yeah, I mean, if you attempted to like get reds with 100 coin, you'd have to go all the way to the top of the clock for all the 10 coin boxes, and then fall all the way to the bottom just to grab the star. Like it's very counterintuitive. And in LLL, another good example, you can get 100 coins outside of the volcano, but you have to kill like every bully or just about every bully, and it's just so slow to do.
Well, and then you got to talk about the RNG of where the coin is going to go anyway, so.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. Nice Nips grab there from Para. Super Viper. Doing a nice job, falling a little bit further behind there in HMC, but doing what he can here in LLL to stay close, at least. And we'll see a Vanish Cap and Reds from Para here in just a second.
Hey, Scotch.
Yeah.
How do you make Varnish disappear?
How?
Take out the R.
Oh no. Oh no.
See, I can make puns too.
Oh no. Oh no!
You're taking a ball a true oh no moment, as he's gonna have to swim out of this moat real quick.
That wasn't an invisible. That was just straight up bonking on the elevator there.
right, attempt number 2 here. I wonder if he's still gonna try for that insane ending. I've seen him go for that like wall kick ending off those wooden poles a couple of times. Don't know if he'd do that in a race though. You know, he's just gonna go for. Nope, he's doing it. Very, very nice professional movement, and get ready to say it with me, chat. Siglemic!
Siglemic!
At least the second attempt was very clean. Alright, Para heading over into BBH. This is probably the stage that transforms the most between 70 and 120. It goes from like kind of a throwaway stage where both stars are pretty free, especially Secret of the Haunted Bookcase, to now just a very brutal slog throughout the entire mansion. And there are a lot of opportunities for coin RNG to mess with you. There are opportunities for big falls that could cost tons of time. You see right here, the Boo just not really cooperating with what Para wanted here. Slide kicking, but through nothing. The Boo just walking right by him. I guess floating. I mean, Boos can't really walk. They don't have feet. At least Para was able to get that Boo taken care of the way he wanted to. Let's see if he's able to get a tech skip on one of these coming up here. Or a door skip, rather. Sorry. You can't skip any of those text boxes.
Yeah, that's always been weird to me, you know, how they'll go for like the door glitch sort of thing, but you still have to see the text box.
I mean, that door animation is so long. Like, it's a good, like, 2.5, 3 seconds. Viper had a little bit of an issue with MIPS, but he's got it taken care of as he's going to head down to Varnish Cap himself. Now Para's going to be working his way through 100 coin, heading on outside. The outside can always be a little bit of a Monka-esque here. You need a pretty decent amount of coins for these Scuttlebugs, which, of course, their RNG can be a little bit bad. And if worse comes to worse, you could lose your Vanish Cap before you're even able to get back inside the painting here. And one of those blues nearly despawning. The other one, I think, did despawn, or at least the Boo itself came back. But Para able to account for it pretty nicely.
Yeah, as you were
Kind of an
saying.
interesting thing that I think it was Yale pointed out to me during the last showcase race, that eye there, a lot of times if you don't do anything, that eye will shoot at you as soon as you enter the room. But if you do a little jump at some point in that lobby, Super Viper nearly Siglemic, but ended up landing on top of that fence. Unfortunate. If you do like a jump when you're exiting the bookcases room back into the lobby, for some reason that eye will like be looking at you but won't have shot at you and give you an opportunity to move. Para with a really nice 100 coin though.
That Boo was super kind to him. Just aggroed straight out of the painting.
Yup.
Nice slide down to that last red there. And he's got the 100.
All right, Viper heading in for his own Boos. Let's see if he's able to get better RNG here. And he is on the first one at least. Now, I could be wrong on this, but I believe that all these text boxes that Viper is seeing are only one box on JP. I think that was how it came out on Para's screen. But I could certainly be wrong. All right, it's 2 Boo time here for Super Viper. There he goes. No double text skip, though. Just gets... Why do I keep saying text skip? It looked like he did actually skip a text box, though. I don't know if that's English only for some reason.
Yeah, not entirely sure.
I'm not super well versed in how exactly the blue text boxes work.
Here we go!
They seem to be at least a little bit more resilient than some other text boxes in the game. There is one less box on US. Okay, thanks, J-Mill.
J-Mill coming in clutch with the knowledge. Yeah, moving right along here in BBH. You know, it's funny. I always think about when I played this as a kid, and I remember playing this for the first time and just disliking BBH because I thought it was terrifying. And later run-throughs of the game, I would refuse to play BBH. I would find, stars in other areas to get through. and now looking back on it, I always think, man, that was like, why? It's not even that bad.
See, I feel like the only thing I ever really got scared of was the piano, but this was honestly one of my favorites as a kid. Because, like, it was one of those big sprawling stages that always felt like there was another room somewhere in it that you hadn't seen yet. And whenever I finally figured out how to wall kick your way up to the, like, very top floor of the mansion where you have access to the top balcony and stuff, like, I thought that was the coolest thing. And I always wanted to find, like, something else, like a secret dev room or something.
Mm-hmm.
And same with HMC. Like, this and HMC were always my favorite stages as a kid. I know that probably makes me a pretty big weirdo, but I'm okay with that.
Well, you're totally right with that. It seems like there's more to the level than, meets the eye. It's kind of the same thing. Like SSL to a certain degree is kind of interesting in that way because you've got the barren wasteland of the sand outside the pyramid, but then you got inside the pyramid. There's just so much going on. In that way. Other levels don't necessarily have that. Like BOB, it's just BOB is BOB. THI is, that it just sucks. So, it has an interior area, but it's not really that interesting in any way, shape, or form. BBH, HMC, and SSL all have that.
Yeah, and it's interesting how it kind of pioneered that, like, 3D game design of making a small model for something that was actually really big.
Mm-hmm.
Like in SSL, the pyramid doesn't look that big, but you go inside it and it's this enormous sprawling area, it feels like.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, you can definitely see the influence on games like Banjo-Kazooie, where it has tons of these little areas that actually have so much inside of them when you go inside a doorway. Thank you so much, Solinarius, for the 100 lucky charm bits. Good luck to both of the runners, especially Para as he's going on in for DDD 100. This is another huge test of swimming.
Oh yeah, I love DDD 100, particularly in the second area with the sub. Just a lot of very precise jumping. The wall kicks are really interesting to see. The swimming, while precise, is kind of mundane. It can be kind of annoying, as you see here, trying to pick up every single coin here with the rings. But once you move on to reds, it gets it's really cool to see.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's so difficult, but when everything gets pulled off smoothly, it's very, very nice to see. And of course, some leg reduction coming out from Para as he moves on into that second area. I think what's most amazing about 100 coin DDD is front sub is just part of the strat. You just have to do front sub. There's no real way around it. Any route that you would do that doesn't have front sub is very slow. Loses a very big chunk of time. And it's like little things like that, like, oh, you mean to tell me you can get on top of that platform without the cork blocks? How? What?
Well, this wall kick coming up here right now is the one I was talking about and not able to get it out.
We're gonna have to see 2 front subs at least in this 1 star for Para to be able to finish it out. Yeah, it's like you do this set of wall kicks along this metal grate in order to pick up a bunch of... 3 front subs going to be required for Para to finish this star out, but you can see how well practiced he is at it. It's not really an issue for him. Time to wait on Mario's cam to recenter here. Only needs to do one wall kick though. That's, I guess, a silver lining, but... Alright, final front sub of this star at least. And he misses the platform.
4
Commentator's curse coming into effect.
4 front
Four
subs.
front sub.
PogChamp. Oh! 5 front subs.
Okay, I wouldn't say that counts as
Attempts.
fine, but
Attempts.
fair. He does manage to get onto the platform this time around. Nice wall kick from that side. That can be a little bit intimidating. Viper's now going to join Para in DDD. If he's able to get a better DDD 100, he can save a pretty big chunk of time. I think like at least 30-40 seconds, if not even more. Did I just do a count von count laugh?
Yes.
That's only appropriate for this situation.
Well,
5 yellow coins.
SuperViper going to be working on 100s as well. We'll see if he can take care of those wall kicks a little bit better than Para. Para doing chests now.
Four chests. Okay, I'm done. We did it 3 times. The joke is gonna get old now. We're done.
Good chest there from Para. I've always been interested watching, you know, in particular 70 and 120. You know, obviously you do less stars in each stage in 70 than in 120, where 120 obviously you need to get every single star. But it's interesting to see, you know, the route as far as who does what, or excuse me, what stars you do in what particular order in each one. You know, 70 and 120 are just so different in that way. You would think that you would do some of the stars in the same order, but really you don't.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing is the stars that are different between them, like what Dry World 100, LLL, hot footed into the volcano. Like, there's a lot of stars that, even though they're shared between both categories, they have radically different ways of executing them.
SuperViper cleanly doing that wall kick, only needing to do 1 front sub here as long as he can get this triple jump dive in 1 go, and he won't. We'll need to do a second front sub. Para into Fire Sea with reds.
Viper having some issues sliding down the front of the sub here.
Para with the lava boost here in Fire Sea.
Para with the very beautiful lava boost and the good ending to boot here. I think 3rd time really is the charm. Both of those races earlier today wasn't quite able to get that lava boost with the good ending. Disco Dave Gaming, I'm very sorry to inform you that race already happened. That was at 7 p.m. Yeah, 7 p.m. Central Standard.
If you missed any races or any runs that were aired here on GSA, though, you should go check out the YouTube channel, !YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. All reruns are posted there. Para with the missed throw.
The most costly missed throw here, since Bowser has to realign his QPUs. And you can see Para just kicking in frustration. The flutter kick. It's a technique not seen since Shenmei. I'm not going to spoil that 70 race between Para and Punk A for you, but definitely go watch it. You can also, if you want, Twitch saves all past broadcasts, so you can go to the past broadcasts and fast forward all the way through the start of that race. So you can catch that race as if it were live.
Yeah, so
I also just have to say, Para trying to insult my Count Von Count impression, saying "not funny, didn't laugh." All I can think is that dumb Twitter meme where they changed they changed the DK rap to "not funny, didn't laugh."
Oh my gosh. And Para able to back up the 5 rings. Didn't get that first one very well, but was able to stall just enough.
Yeah, getting 5 rings after the first is a little bit challenging, but he really saved himself there from a lot of pain. If you're trying to get rings after the first 6, it's a cluster.
Well, Super Viper into Fire Sea now. Definitely has to match Para, who had a pretty clean Fire Sea. Nothing really too crazy. Getting the lava boost. Only missing 1 Bowser throw. Only hiccup in the whole thing.
Looks like Viper on pretty decent pace for lava boost. Probably one of the safest lava boosts that I've ever seen. And he barely manages to get the boost, but that movement definitely paying off. Like, he had the kick at the start to prevent him from having to take that very precise angle on those first long jumps to prevent jump strafing. Ended up taking a long jump after the 3rd or 4th red. Falls off the upper platform, though. That is not a safe strat at all. Gonna have to take some significant time getting back up to the star. Any major mistakes in the race so far? I mean, in 120, you're pretty much bound to make some major errors. I guess the biggest thing is Para had to do front sub 4 times in DDD 100 due to falling off while trying to get one of the reds and then falling off again on a later part of the star. It just was not really quite working out for him. And for Viper, it's really just been like minor mistakes kind of piling up and trying to go safer on certain stars. Oh, Para did also have the death and vanish cap. That was another big thing. But aside from that, Para's had a pretty decent run so far.
Well, to note, that basement was just, I mean, the booty burn and lethal lava land. But other than that, near perfection there between SSL, HMC, and LLL.
But now Para venturing upstairs. Gonna start out with the water nice and high in Wet Dry World. So he's gonna be venturing down to the town for the Vanish Cap star down here. This is another one. I really admire the 100 coin route with reds as well as Secret standalone. They're both really, really cool stars that you don't see in any other category.
Yeah, you don't get to see the town at all in 70. It's such a cool area. You know, talk about my favorite areas as a kid. This was definitely one of the areas that I liked a lot playing, just because there's so much you can do. Just messing around even.
Same here.
Town area. It's so cool. Going back to hidden areas, the same basic concept as HMC and SSL. You had this little cove area that you could kind of just head on over to and explore.
Yeah, it's like you notice the fence there and you're like, okay, that's so high up. How am I supposed to get to that? And then you find the cannon and you start like messing around with cannon shots towards it. When you finally hit it the first time, I think the tunnel is one of the coolest parts, just because like that sense of wonder and suspense just gets heightened throughout there.
No, you're totally right. I mean, it's just like it's like in a movie. You know, when the main character discovers something really interesting, there's always this build up, and you kind of have to move towards the area before it brightens up. It's like dark for a little bit, maybe in a tunnel or something like that, and you move through, and it brightens up to show this large expanse. And I think Blaze said it correctly. It almost feels like an area that the devs didn't intend for you to be able to have access to. It's just so different than the rest of Super Mario 64. And like you're saying, it's just the tunnel in particular, the build up that you're swimming through. Oh, where am I going? And to discover this town that's kind of just placed in the middle of Wet Dry World for no apparent reason, really. Really, really interesting, and I think a very intentionally smart decision by the developers.
I feel like Mysterious Mountainside is probably like the essential feeling of like, what on earth did I just find here? Like, you're not expecting there to be another slide in this game, and especially not in a stage like TTM.
Mm.
And, like, you see the star title and you're like, what's mysterious about the mountain? And then like you start climbing up and you see the shimmer on that one part of the mountain. You're like, what even is in here? And it's so different from every other slide. Like, it's got that imagery that's like reminiscent of Rainbow Road from Mario Kart, and like that death path at one point. Like, you find it, you're just like, what is this? What's going on?
Well, I think even the cooler part about that slide in particular is that there's two panels there that look extremely similar, and you go by one, it doesn't do anything, but when you're playing it for the first time, you rub up against the second one, you realize, oh, it's moving. It's just like a painting would. So what's this doing here in the middle of the mountain? Para getting amped there during secrets. But yeah, again, we talk about this game all the time. It's just such a testament to what 3D gaming really is.
Yeah, I mean, and thinking that the devs made this with no real pretense. Like, they didn't have any template to go off of. Like, this was the first real 3D platformer. Like, you had Bubsy 3D, but like, this game was not influenced by something like that at all. And I mean, this game being made as the product of influence would be one thing, but as a product of pure imagination and just originality, like, I feel like it just makes it all the more impressive. And to see how much it influenced platforming for decades to come at this point, and how much staying power it still has. I mean, it's one of those games that's easy to pick up, but very difficult to master.
Well, I mean, you talk about the sustaining power of this game. We're still speedrunning this. You know, people are still speedrunning Super Mario Brothers 1, but it's not nearly as active as Super Mario 64.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think very recently was surpassed by Odyssey for the most runs on speedrun.com of any game ever.
But enough about that. Both these guys working through Wet Dry World.
Paris 100 coin, very clean. I always like the ending to 100 coin that we're going to see from SuperViper in just a moment here.
Yeah, again, Parrot not really showing too many mistakes. Just the 1 amp so far. Nothing really too big. Really impressive movement.
Viper missing that double jump to get up on top of the rooftop here. See, I really like using this star to clip on top of the platform here to be able to grab the other star just immediately. Para with secrets real quick. One of your standard fare stars. THI 100 coin, I feel like, is both very finicky but also very cool. That jump dive that you do to collect the 5 coins on the wooden plank is just so, like, mind-blowing every time I see it. Viper having a little bit of difficulty with secrets, but overall playing through just fine. Oh, Parrot doesn't clip quite through the mountain, though, somehow. THI, as much as we hate on the stage, this is another instance of that. Like, when you find on Big Island, or, sorry, Tiny Island, that you can ground pound the top of the mountain and the water floods through, you're like, what? How? What does this do? And then you go back over to Huge Island and you find the hole in the top. And you go down to the Wiggler and the Wiggler's so mad at you and you're like, I didn't even know you lived here. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that Hecking Island, as much as we hate it, again, it's just testament to what these guys did. back in the day. But we're gonna clip. We're not even gonna ground pound. We're just gonna clip straight through it, and Para's gonna annoy this Wiggler guy.
See, that really makes you wonder, though, like, if we just clip right through the mountain, we didn't flood the Wiggler's home, so what's he even mad about this time? Or she? I think the Wiggler's probably a she, since there's the flower on top, but that is very presumptuous of me.
Here we go!
Breaking and entering, yeah, I guess that works, yeah.
Now, what I do like about THI in 120 is the hundreds. You know, you're kind of working back and forth between Big and Little Island. You know, you see Pear taking care of it right now.
And it's so climactic, ending with THI Reds, like, I mean, it's so stressful when you're going through and like all of your progress on this pretty long star is determined by whether or not you're able to get through this pretty difficult Reds, but it's still just like when it does work out for you, it just feels so nice. Hera, unfortunately, not able to get the family photo. And that's the only real bad thing about this star is it's so RNG heavy with stuff like that.
Well, an RNG is working in his favor to a certain degree. Having trouble here with Koopa. Having to chase him down a little bit, but not too bad so far.
All right, Pear's gonna head on into the mountain. Let's see how Reds goes here. Beautiful, aside from that, almost beautiful movement. Oh, having to take a ledge grab there, very, very close.
Well, I was going to say he's lucky that he didn't slide too far off that blue coin button. He would have certainly taken a fall. But also just making that ledge grab work. Super Viper saving Mario from falling down the mountain there.
Yeah, very interesting route that he took to get those coins there. But not quite able to get that first blue.
Just barely jumping over that fence. Not great RNG there.
Pear gonna take care of some piranhas. Viper gonna go ahead and grab some extra coins from this pole to kind of make up for some of the ones he missed due to his route. Yes, Cheese. That was the outcome of the race, 2-0. I probably shouldn't have said that for people who haven't seen the run yet, so...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, there you go. It still counts if you say the spoiler alert after the spoiler, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Just like, you know, saying that Darth Vader is actually Luke's dad. Spoiler alert. Like, that's how that works.
Yeah, exactly.
If you didn't want to get spoiled, you should have seen the race. You know, we understand that people are on all sorts of schedules. Yes, Steve. I also bet you didn't know that Luke Skywalker was a Jedi. I'm just gonna ruin this 50-year-old film for you. Who's Darth Vader and Luke? Well, when a mommy and daddy love each other very much, one of them becomes the Dark Sith Lord, and the other becomes the guy to try to kill him.
Well, Para done with THI. Going to be hitting into TTM now.
Reds and TTM is such an interesting star.
Well, this that's what I'm going to say. This is an interesting one to watch. Going to be starting with Breezeless, missing it, unfortunately, just clipping in then back out. for the first mountain clip. Not able to get it, just sliding back down.
He's not even going to go for the second one. I don't really blame him. Trying to set up for a second mountain clip can be very variable.
Well, it's especially when you've got this backup here, you might as well just use it and just go for it again. You know, reset yourself up, start from scratch. No trouble at all. Super Viper nearly jumping straight into that Chuckya, catching himself. No problem with the mountain clip this time.
I think Para just didn't get the wall kick that he wanted. I wouldn't see Para going for that front flip strap very often. Seems kind of out of character for him.
Mm-hmm. Super Viper nearly done here in THI, doing some quick weed whacking. And Para getting the second mountain clip done. No ledge grab this time, able to just quickly wall kick his way, or not wall kick, but kick his way up that slope. Really nice awareness with that one. Third clip through the mountain. Got
Monkey glitch time. Nice.
Yeah, I got a firstie there on the log, a little bit too far, kind of similar to the last wall kick, log kick that he did. A little too far though, wasn't able to get up the mountain the same way that he did previously.
One thing to note about monkey glitch that you don't see very often, you can actually soft lock the monkey if you ground pound too close to him to let go of him. Like if you don't get the jumps properly after getting the monkey glitch and like you're trying to make your way over to where you're supposed to drop him and you end up having to drop him too low, like he'll just start laughing and just not move. It's very weird. But at the top level, you really don't see that very often, if at all. I don't think I've ever seen it from any runner like in a race or anything like that, because it's pretty easy to prevent. You just have to practice the strat a pretty decent bit. Para almost having a bit of a repeat from the last 120 showcase race, where he just could not seem to get these reds to get going. But he's good now.
Yeah, through those reds, leaving one red behind to finish up those red coins with 100. Going on this slide now.
Tried going for the C-up strats. I think he kind of got it, yeah.
It's interesting. That movement is so interesting. It's like the only time that we ever do that kind of slide is in this secret slide in TTM.
Because it's just not really applicable anywhere else. Like, oh, Viper, very, very weird fail on that log wall kick. But yeah, like you don't really have the opportunity to do a slide for that long anywhere else in the game. It's just this one starts with that huge straightaway.
So Para sliding out to the left to pick up a coin, nearly falling off the slide altogether. Very close one. But able to get that one done.
Here we go! Here we go!
So Viper going to be trying for monkey glitch now. A little bit slower of a setup than what Para went for. Instead of trying to get the monkey glitch off the grab, he's going to just get it off of a later like hold.
Well, Para into SL now. Getting Snowman's head out of the way, not able to get the side flip. Almost falling off the Snowman altogether, but able to save himself there. again, just very good awareness.
Yeah, and Para mentioning that he's been having problems with the stick. Maybe he needs to get a Punkei controller or something. But that, like, an inability to side flip is a telltale sign of a bad stick that needs replacing. It's unfortunate that the N64 stick is both so good for this game, but it also just wears out so fast.
Here we go!
Getting real close to the end here, coming down to 22 stars left on Para's side. Super Viper working on his
Here we go!
reds and 100.
And he's actually going to collect that last red first. I think it kind of just comes down to personal preference as far as whether you collect all the reds first or later. There might be a version difference that causes the star to despawn on one version, but I could be wrong on that.
Well, and as Super Viper's taking care of 100s in TTM, Para with 100 in SL. This one's super finicky just because of the enemies that you have to deal with here. You know, the money, in particular, the money bags.
Yeah, at least money bag duping isn't really featured in the route. I think theoretically it could save a little bit of time, but like it's so finicky that it's just not really worth it. And plus, like once you get to a certain point of duping, the game starts lagging tremendously. It starts to kind of kill the time save you would have.
Moving on over here, going to be picking up the shell. Taking a bonk there on the sign. Not getting far enough to the left there. Saw in chat, you know, you don't want to lose a shell here at all.
Yeah, especially when you get under the big bully's platform, that can be really debilitating trying to make that up.
Unfortunately, RNG kind of allowed Para to just collect those coins while he was making his way around, but man, the money bags just is, for whatever reason, the RNG is just insane.
Here we go!
Now Super Viper going to be joining Para in SL.
Here we go!
A pretty decent distance back, but with some big mistakes from Para, he could potentially catch up. Oh, takes a ledge grab on that snow platform. That's one of the things I kind of hate about this game is how you can get a like half ledge grab on a slope like that, and Mario just instantly cancels it.
So really nice deep freeze there from Para. Finishing up with the ice bully, giving him no trouble at all.
Yeah, I mean, being able to slide into the bully for the kill like that just makes that totally free. Viper not able to get his triple jump to come out here. Let's see what's the play here. He's gonna try for the roll from the freezing pond star, but not able to get the triple jump again. Just landing on the wrong polygon. Para with Wilco clip. Not quite gonna work out. He's gonna try for it again though. Let's see if he's gonna be able to get it second try or so. There it goes. Looks decent. Let's see it.
It's gonna take a couple. He gets it. There we go.
Not really saving any time with that, but I mean, hey, it counts. Let's get some Wilco clips in the chat.
Man, Super Viper having a lot of trouble here in SSL, or excuse me, SL. Just not able to make his way up this snowman's head.
And Para working his way through Wing Cap stage, or Wing Mario Over the Rainbow as it's officially called. This one, like, it's a bit of a test of flying, not quite as much as SL Reds, but the big thing here is failing and falling to your doom ends up putting you outside the castle, which the castle movement back here is very lengthy.
Well, it's if, like you said, it throws you so far away. And then you've got to start this all over again. But Para, no trouble at all.
Patch MP asking why they're using the Shindu edition. They're not, first off. The Shindu edition actually has like a different jumping noise. Like, it's not all the jumps, but one of the jumps is like higher pitched than normal. And it is so aggravating and you can't unhear it once you've heard it once.
Para into TTC. Working on 100s. Not able to get that second wall kick out. Kind of weird angle there, but able to back it up pretty quickly. SuperViper working on 100s and SL, and the coins just going everywhere with the money bags.
I have this theory that is probably correct if it were analyzed in the decomp. I feel like enemies, when they spawn coins, they get flung out at a way more chaotic rate than like boxes of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
Like skeeters, scuttlebugs, money bags in this case. Like the coins just go flying.
Well, money bags in particular is just so crazy, like you're saying there. I don't know. You'd have to deconstruct the game, see what the data looked like as far as that went, just to really understand it. It's in the coding of the game for sure.
Cause I'm just like
Oh, moving
with
reds.
some time moving shenanigans here. Ended up missing the time moving strat he wanted, so we're gonna go for one that's a lot more dangerous.
This movement that he's going for here all comes down to timing. Once you got the timing down right, it's totally simple. But if you're off by even just a beat, you're falling straight to the bottom.
Yeah, and a little fun fact after moving reds like that, strats such as like Usamun's moving red strat are actually faster in an RTA speedrun than time stop reds, but they're so difficult, and like if you mess them up, you're losing all of that time save that you don't see anyone really go for it in runs. It's only like a second or two, and it's not really worth it.
SuperViper making his way into Wing Mario in the sky.
Right, Hypnotoad. So like that's the same for any coin spawn in the game, whether it's from a box or from an enemy. Anytime a coin is supposed to spawn, the game calculates an X, Y, and Z momentum for that coin. So like if the X and Y momentum are very low, but the Z is very high, you're going to see the coin like kind of pop up in the air and then just kind of fall down. And that's also like what determines the angle is those 3 RNG calls for every coin. But what I'm wondering is if the magnitude is inherently higher for enemies rather than boxes. Because I feel like that's definitely the case. Like it's the same principle governing both, in that like the X, Y, and Z momentum are always going to be different and determined by RNG. But I'm wondering if the magnitude is inherently going to be higher on the enemies for some reason. I think that's going to be the case if it's analyzed in decomp or something.
Who would know about that?
Tassers. If anyone knows like the nitty-gritty details of this game, it's going to be a Tasser.
Para, a really nice job here Almost done with TTC. Going into Rainbow Ride. In your educated opinion, which one's harder, TTC or Rainbow Ride for 120?
In 120, I would have to say... I'd have to say Rainbow Ride, I think. Because the 100 coin, even though, like, yes, you do have to deal with the carpet ride, it is still pretty technical. There's a lot to it that can be easily messed up. I remember fairly recently, Wilco had a run after his string of, like, 2 PBs in a row, where it was on decent PB type pace, but then died midway through Rainbow Ride 100. TTC 100, I think, still kind of holds that title for being just such a compressed series of technical movements, but Rainbow Ride 100 definitely kind of gives it a bit of a run for its money. And then the additional stars that you have to deal with in Rainbow Ride are also a little bit finicky. I mean, you have to do 2 Lakitu bounces, which if you've got Lakitu bounce truly consistent, that shouldn't really be a problem for you, but I mean, that in itself is more techy than like time-moving strats in TTC and other things like that.
Well, as you were talking about TTC 100s there, SuperViper taking a very late invis wall just after grabbing 70 coins, showing why TTC is just everything is so compressed and everything is just up and down. Whereas with Rainbow Ride, there's just so much space everywhere. You know, any awkward movement or bad angle is going to result in a death for sure. So I think I'd agree with you that Rainbow Ride 120 is definitely more difficult than TTC 120. I think the reverse is true in 70 star.
Yeah, I mean, I think more than anything though, they're different. They're not, one is not exactly more difficult than the other, they're just different. Because like you said, TTC is explicitly vertically oriented, and there's no other stage like it in the game that's like entirely upwards progression, no like real horizontal stuff.
Well, Para taking the carpet on up with this 100.
Ad break time.
Definitely takes definitely one that takes plenty of time, kind of allows you to prep yourself for the rest of Rainbow Ride. SuperViper making his way up here.
And keeping pace like this with someone like Para for so long, that's really, really impressive.
Well, and he hasn't made any crazy big mistakes. It's just been minor things that have given Para a little bit more of an advantage over the span of the run, really. I mean, honestly, it's just come down to strats. Para,
yeah, I mean, Viper
a lot
is
better with that.
Para missing his first Lakitu bounce here. That's going to be a little bit strange, trying to come back from something that you feel like should be super consistent like that. But like I think more than anything, this race is kind of showing like what separates a good 120 player from the absolute best. Like Viper has tons of experience with this category. He's a great Mario 64 player, but like there's just little things that he's having to shy away from, probably just for consistency's sake. And it just like Para doesn't. Para's spent so much more time, so much really in-depth grinding time with the category that he's not having to shy away from these things. He just does, and it just works. Gets Lakitu bounce this time around at least.
Yeah, no glitchy pull grab, and SuperViper saving himself there. Nearly just
beautiful backup
diving
there.
off. Yeah. Doing a really nice job. I mean, that was almost certain death for sure, but able to back that up really nicely.
All right, Para with the over the rainbow star out of the way. 3 stars until he enters bits. And let me tell you, like in standard 70, Bowser in the Fire Sea, easily the hardest Bowser stage. Like, Bowser in the Sky is honestly pretty easy in something like 70, but in 120, when you add Reds to the equation, without a doubt, Bowser in the Sky Reds is the hardest Bowser stage.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so to note just about what you were talking about earlier as far as strats go, perfect example right here with Lakitu Bounce. Para going for that more pro setup for Lakitu Bounce. They started this star at essentially the exact same time, but just simply because of the strat that Para chose, he moved ahead of Super Viper in that specific section simply because of strats.
Yeah, I mean, that's not uncommon for a player like Para. I mean, Para makes glitchy wall kick Lakitu Bounce look easy, but it's most certainly not.
Here we go!
For those that may not be familiar with the nitty-gritty of this game, a glitchy wall kick is where, in technical terms, it's where you wall kick off a wall, but the referenced wall is a different wall. What that means in practice is anytime you wall kick off a wall, if the wall kick is processed properly, the wall that you're wall kicking off of is what's called the referenced wall. It's what the game uses to say, you're approaching the wall from this angle, therefore you should go away from it at this angle. But when you wall kick off of a wall that is like right tucked into a corner, the game processes that information from the wrong wall. So you're wall kicking off one wall, but the game is saying, okay, you're approaching this other wall from this angle, so I'm going to put you from this other wall at this angle. And so it results in a very weird looking wall kick, but it's just because you're kicking off one wall, but the angle calculation is taking place on a different one. Take a shot every time Electric says a wall. You just want to finish your scotch, don't you?
Yeah, you're totally right. Well, Para into Bits. Going to be finishing up here. You know, the sketchy movement that I find in 120 Bits is that movement to the third red coin. It's just standing alone right there, and there's just enough space for Mario to land on it. And it's really just a go for broke kind of jump. Really.
See, I feel like the sketchiest is that fifth red where you're having to do that side flip over the flame shooter. It just like, it feels so weird.
Well, the reason why I think that third one in particular is so much more sketchy is because the amount of space that you have compared to the one with the flame shooter, you know. With the flame shooter, at least you've got plenty of room if you do get burned to kind of like stop yourself. But if you miss that ledge with the third one, you're done.
Oh, yeah. That's very true. So Para now has 120 stars, so he just has to defeat Bowser, and he will be completely done with this run. The 142, which for a race time, that's not that bad. Only a couple minutes off his PB, and a very nice performance.
Yeah, I mean, in particular, that basement is something that I'm going to want to, note when we're done here. You know, just the only thing I can think of is that booty burn in with Reds. Other than that, it was just flawless. Again, really interested in that split.
Double Fs coming out from EBM for some reason, even though Para's finishing with a pretty solid race time.
142.35, nothing to scoff at here, but Super Viper on his way. Looks like that's going to be around a 145 for him, as long as he can finish this up cleanly.
Yeah, it's also not a bad time. I mean, for 120, it becomes a lot more about like minutes and like 30-second intervals than it is about like every individual second in terms of like your skill level in accordance with your race times or your PB.
Well, when we talk about speedrunning, I think what it comes down to is, these longer categories. I think with the longer categories, it's less about the grind and more about the endurance.
Oh yeah.
With 70 star, with 16 star, it's about the grind. It's about how often you play it, how hard you practice, that sort of thing. With 120, it's really an endurance thing. Sure, sure you got to grind to practice. Sure, you got to grind to the runs and everything like that. The resets can be a lot more brutal. SuperViper having trouble here with tricky triangles, able to back that up though just fine. But again, it's such a long category. You really gotta, you really have to have the mental fortitude to just kind of buckle in, put your head down, and do it, man.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. All right, Viper just got to swing in this breeze, and he will be done with his stages. Just needs Bowser in the Sky Reds to complete his 120 star collection.
Yeah, this is I like this matchup. You know, you get to see two guys in their own right, very, very impressive runners. Two different strat styles, though. So that makes for a really good matchup.
Oh, Viper not able to get his triple jump to come out or that side flip that he wanted, so just does that quick wall kick back up. Very clean. Now the third red coming out. It's the fact that they grab that with a kick like that that messes with me, I feel like. If you could just long jump over to that coin, I feel like it would scare me a lot less. Oh, doesn't get the side flip over the flame shooter though. So wasting a little bit of time with that burn.
Having a little trouble here going with the kicks. Glitchy pull and grab there. Should be finishing up with a high 146, maybe a low 147 now.
He's close to the end now. The finish line is well in sight. He's got his 120th star. Just needs to show Bowser what for, and he will be through with this race.
Well, as SuperViper finishes up, make sure to check out all of our commands in chat. Ooh, far, just a little right there with the first throw. Exclamation point schedule for the schedule of everything that GSA has going on. Exclamation point bracket to see the brackets where all your favorite runners are at. We are in the finals for our main leagues. Check out the merch, exclamation point merch. Make sure to check out and subscribe to the YouTube channel, exclamation point YT or exclamation point YouTube. Check out the Onyx. 500 Onyx points get you a free sub. Not able to get that third throw in. And then
He's got a great lineup this time, though. And he's got it. Nice.
Yeah, that camera angle was perfect.
It can be so finicky trying to actually get that good camera angle, but Viper able to get it on that last throw attempt.
GG's to both these guys. Big GG's for Para on the win. Nice little showcase. See if we can get these guys in for interviews real quick, just to kind of get their thoughts and everything on this run.
Yeah, it looks like Para can't be Aussied for an interview, whatever that means. Kappa.